In theory, a 13-11 scoreline suggests a highly intense and closely contested match. However, a deeper tactical review of the gameplay footage from the match between NS and KRX on Haven reveals a very different narrative. Today, we will break down Map 1 of the VCT Pacific Stage 1, a match defined by one team's exceptionally disciplined execution, contrasted with the other's flexible and dynamic map control. Let us examine the philosophy behind these team compositions. NS introduced a lineup focused on strong tactical execution, consisting of Neon, Sova, Breach, Omen, and Killjoy. This composition is specifically designed for structured, set plays, utilizing crowd control abilities such as stuns and flashes to create openings for Dambi's Neon to charge aggressively into engagements. On the opposite side, KRX opted for flexibility. They replaced Breach with Hyunmin's Phoenix and swapped Killjoy for Young's Cypher. This proved to be the true X-factor that set them apart. Phoenix provided KRX with stronger dueling potential and greater self-sufficiency, while Cypher offered comprehensive, map-wide information, something Killjoy struggles to deliver effectively on a 3-site map like Haven. Where the real difference shows. KRX's attack isn't one-dimensional, it's layered, controlled, and calculated. While Nongshim keep forcing the same idea, grouping up and hitting Site C over and over again, KRX take a completely different approach. They use the information from Sova and Cypher to split the map, applying pressure in multiple areas at once. They're not just hitting a site, they're controlling mid, gathering info, and then choosing the right moment to strike, often collapsing onto Site B with perfect timing. That's what makes their attacks so dangerous. It's not predictable, and it constantly forces Nongshim to second-guess their rotations. And because of that control, KRX only need 5 rounds to close out the half. Clean, efficient, and incredibly well played. Throughout the first half, KRX weren't just running plays, they were constantly mixing things up, throwing different looks at Nongshim every single round. And what's important here is, they're not relying on raw aim from Neon or Phoenix. This is pure coordination, map control, and utility discipline. Now round 7, this is where things get really interesting. KRX pull out a clean, textbook fake, showing pressure on A, but the real hit is heading straight into B. Here's how it plays out. They split the map perfectly. Neon and Sova move toward A, applying pressure, while the other 3 quietly set up for the B execute. And remember what we talked about before, Cypher is everything when it comes to information denial. In this round, Cypher locks down the flank with double tripwires, making sure Nongshim gets 0 info. Because if that flank comes through, 1 pick, and the whole strategy falls apart. Now back to A. This is where the magic happens. Neon and Sova don't just fake, they fully sell it. We're talking full commitment, both ultimate invested. At this point, Nongshim completely buys it. They rotate 4 players over to A4. And in the chaos, Sova even finds a pick, which just reinforces the idea that this is a real hit. But here's the biggest win. They force out Breach's Rolling Thunder, one of the most important retake tools in the game, just to survive the fake. That is massive value, and the moment that ultimate is gone, KRX instantly pull the trigger. Neon and Sova rotate back, and now everything collapses onto B. Meanwhile, the other 3 players have already taken control of the site. Killjoy utility, cleared with smokes, site, open, spike, planted, no resistance. This is a perfectly executed fake, timing, utility, coordination, everything hits. KRX don't just win the round, they completely outplay Nongshim on the macro level. Now before we move on, let's rewind and take another look at how this all unfolded.
Suddenly it's Hot Hands as well that continues to block off the chokes. Ivy steps forward, eats a shot, and then RB goes down and out. Just running circles around them. Does a good job hanging on from the backside of the site.
Rolling Thunder Hunter Spree though.
Yeah, I mean, that was a beautiful exchange. Hyunmin with another 2 kills after investing his...
And we have to talk about Hyunmin. 25 kills. A massive 268 axe. This guy was absolutely taking over the server. Now, to be fair, Nongshim showed solid teamwork throughout the map. But what they lacked was a true hard carry, someone who could step up and create those game-changing moments. Hyunmin was that difference. He wasn't just farming kills when rounds were already over. He was winning the opening duels, the fights that defined the round. Every time NS tried to build momentum, Hyunmin shut it down immediately. First contact, first kill, and suddenly, NS are forced to play from behind. That kind of impact doesn't just show up on the scoreboard, it breaks the entire rhythm of your opponent's attack. You have to give credit to KRX, they never backed down. In the second half, their defense stepped up massively, allowing them to recover and secure 7 crucial rounds. But the real change was in their discipline. Instead of forcing fights and taking unnecessary duels, they shifted their focus to smart utility usage, controlling space and dictating the pace of each round. And honestly, this half was a defensive masterclass from KRX. They weren't just sitting back and playing passive, this was active defense at its finest. They applied pressure across the entire map, constantly challenging for control and forcing Nongshim into uncomfortable positions. That pressure created openings, and KRX capitalized on every single one. And in the end, that's what pushed them over the line, closing the map out at 13 rounds. On the other side, NS's attack becomes a major issue. It's just too one-dimensional. They heavily favor Site C, mainly because it's harder for a single Cypher to fully lock it down. But in doing so, they almost completely ignore Site B, and that makes their game plan incredibly predictable. If Breach's stun doesn't connect, the entire execute falls apart instantly. No space, no entry, no backup plan. So, why did KRX win? It wasn't a mechanical blowout, it was a strategic one. Cypher, Killjoy for Haven info, a site aggression to break the NS set plays, and Hyunmin simply being the best player on the server. NS has the coordination, but until they find more flexibility in their attack, they'll struggle against elite defensive setups like this. That's map 1. Do you think NS's Breach Neon combo is viable in this meta, or is Phoenix the new king of Haven? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next review for Lotus.
To be played, but this has got to be a big, I think, sigh of relief for KRX to come out here. I mean, off the rip, great start for Young in particular.
Yes, I feel like this was a really good performance from him. We spoke a lot about can you stop Dambi, and I feel like he was holding his own on his side. I mean, I think half these highlights when we're watching them, it's Hyunmin on this Phoenix is looking even more electric, and I think this KRX team slowly starting to heat up, and it's getting even scarier now. This was Nongshim's map pick, not able to get it across the line, so I think it's a little bit dire now for Nongshim.